जय गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी राधा माधव यशोधनंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यशोधनंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यशोधनंदन ब्रज जनरंजन जमुना तीरवनचारी जमुना तीरवनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे राम हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Hare
Paramhamsa Privaracharya Sadasara A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jaya Om Vishnupada Paramhamsa Privaracharya Sadasara Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Maharaj Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Gaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Radha Radhanath Ki Jai Shriman Mahaprabhu Ki Jai Shri Giri Raj Govardhana Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Gau Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So today we'll be reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 22, Text 54. Vijitasvam tamare kesham Vijitasvam tamara kesham Haryaksham dravinam vrikram Sarvesham loka palanam Dadarake prithugunan Vijitasvam tamrakesham Haryaksham dravinam vrikam Sarvesham loka palanam Dadhareke prithugunan Vichitasvam tamrakesham Haryaksham dravinam vikam Sarvesham lokapalanam Dadhareka prithugunan Vichitasvam tamakesham Haryaksha dravinam vrikam Sarvesham lokapalanam Dadareka prithugunan Vichitasvam dhamakesham Haryaksham dravinam vrikam Sarvesham lokapalanam Dadareka prithugunan. So we'll do the word for word. Vijitsvam, of the name Vijitsva. Dhumrakesham, of the name Dhumarakesha. Haryaksham, of the name Haryaksha. Dravinam, of the name Dravina. Vrikram, of the name Vrikra. Sarvesham, of all. Lokapalanam, the governing heads of all planets. Dhadhara, accepted. Eka, one. Prithu Maharaj. Gunan, all qualities. So the translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. After begetting 5 sons named Vichitsva, Dhumrakesha, Haryaksha, Dravina, and Vrika, Pritha Maharaj continued to rule the planet. He accepted all the qualities of the deities who governed all other planets. Purport: in each and every planet there is a predominating deity. It is understood from Bhagavad Gita that in the sun there is a predominating deity named Vivashvan. Similarly, there is a predominating deity of the moon and of the various planets. Actually, the predominating deity of the moon and the various planets, of other planets are descendants from the predominating deity of the sun and moon. On this planet, Earth, there are 2 Kshatriya dynasties, and one comes from the predominating deity of the sun, and the other comes from the predominating deity of the moon. These dynasties are known as Surya Vamsha and Chandra Vamsha, respectively. When monarchy existed on this planet, the chief member was one of the members of the Surya dynasty, or Surya Vamsha, and the subordinate kings belonged to the Chandra Vamsa. However, Maharaj Prithu was so powerful that he could exhibit all the qualities of the predominating deities in all other planets. In the modern age, people from Earth have tried to go to the moon, but they have not been able to find anyone there. What to speak of meeting the moon's predominating deity? The Vedic literature, however, repeatedly informs us that the moon is full of highly elevated inhabitants who are counted amongst the demigods. We are therefore always in doubt about what kind of moon adventure the modern scientists of this planet Earth have undertaken. Big question, right? Om Jnana Timirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Tadati Swapadantikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radhakanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusate Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchikalpatarubhescha Kripasindubhevacha Patitanam Pavinebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, dear devotees, it's a very interesting purport, and Prabhupada talks about, going to the moon. Like the scientists have actually tried to go to the moon, and they say they were successful, but they only brought back some rocks, right? So, but Prabhupada says that the moon is inhabited by living entities and exalted living entities also, right? And we see that in the Muslim religion, they worship the Jannat. Jannat means the heaven, right? And the moon is a heavenly abode. And they basically, their philosophy is, you do good and be good. And in this way serve humanity and you go to Jannat, which is there, right? The living entities in this world, they basically follow the regulative principles of scripture and they can go to the heavenly planets, right? And in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Yanti deva vrata devan pitri yanti prativrataha bhutani yanti bhutaya, right? So that those who worship the ancestors go to the planets of the ancestors. Those who worship ghosts and spirits go to the planets of the ghosts and spirits. And those who worship the devas go to the planets of the demigods, like this. So in this way, one can actually determine his destination, like where you want to go, by acting piously in this life and aspiring to go to that planet. So you can go there, right? And as we said, that in Islam, they want to go to Jannat, to the moon planet. Now, Jannat is described as the garden of paradise, where everything is so beautiful, right? There's beautiful trees and, there's flowing rivers and it's very, very beautiful, right? So this is the moon planet, where there is life, and it is described like this, right? That it's full of vegetation and it has flowing rivers and, there's birds and beasts and, different animals as well. And so when one goes there, one can live very happily for a very, very long time. It's almost like eternity, but at some point when your piety is exhausted, you have to come back here. Now this is the Vedic literatures, this is what the Vedas are saying, that you have to come back to this planet, right, and start all over again. So in this way, the moon planet is being described like this, that it's very, very beautiful. And also, it's very radiant. So when they went to the moon, it was all like dark, there was no light on the moon. But we know that the moon emanates a cooling rays, right? And the rays are very pleasing, especially in a hot summer's day. In India now it's like 50 degrees, right? And in the evening, when the sun sets and the moon rises, then the moon emanates this cooling rays, and it's very pleasing to all living entities, right? And then one can even sleep in that condition, because when it's very hot, you cannot really sleep, right? You're bothered by the heat. So, like this, the moon is being described, and we see that Krishna comes from the Chandra dynasty, right? And he displays so many beautiful pastimes like this. And also, we find that there's some names that the moon actually has that describes the moon itself. And the one is Manomaya. Manomaya means that he is the deity of the mind, right? And sometimes people, we call them lunatics, right? Right, because basically their life is imbalanced, and also the moon has something to play with on them, and then they become disorientated basically, and mad in one sense, right? So in this way, the moon has some effect on people like this. And another one is Annamaya. Annamaya means grains and vegetation like this. So the moon in the Bhagavad Gita also it is being described that the moon supplied juice to the vegetables and fruit. So you find there is different fruits and different vegetables. Like, how many of you like ripe jackfruit? I love. Right? Ripe jackfruit tastes very, very nectarian, and also mango, ripe mango, right? So this, and then we get lychees when lychee is season, right? And this is in summer. So these fruits, they taste differently, but they're so tasty, right? And where do they get this taste from? It's from the moon, right? The moon is supplying the juice to all vegetables like this. And then we have different types of vegetables also, right? Like we have the squash, we have the cabbage, we have Karela, right? So Karela is very bitter, right? And that's the nature of Karela. It's very bitter. And then, you get tomatoes, which are like sweetened in one sense, sweet and sour, like that. So in this way, we get different tastes coming out of the earth via the moon also. The moon is supplying the juice to all vegetables. So in this way, the moon plays a very, very important role in the daily lives of all living entities around you, not just the human beings, but also all living entities. Also, when you sleep at night, the moon shines, right? And basically, this is my assumption. Jai Shri Shri Radharanath Ki Jai. Prabhupada Ki Jai. So if it's supplying juice to the vegetables, won't it rejuvenate our cells in our bodies? It would, right? The moon can do this. So it can rejuvenate when we sleep at night, then our body is rested, and the moon can actually rejuvenate the cells in our body. So then another name for the moon is Amritamaya, the source of life for all living entities, right? And birds, beasts, human beings, like this, so cattle, the moon is a source of energy for all of the living entities. And then we get another name for the moon is called Sarvamaya. The moon is all-pervading, right? All-pervasive, like that, because the rays of the moon, it pervades everywhere. Right? There's only one moon, and there's only one sun, and its light pervades everywhere. So just like that, these are Krishna's energies, right? Krishna's energies are diffused in all these living entities, like the moon and the sun. And also this predominating deity of the sun, and this predominating deity of the moon, right? Chandra and Surya, or Vivashvan, as is known in the scriptures. And Vivashvan, basically, he lives on the sun, right? And he has his maybe devotees or his, entourage also on the sun planet. So how can anyone live on the sun, you may ask? Yes, they can live on the sun because their bodies are not made of earth, water, fire. It's actually made of fire. It's not made of like earth, right? It's made of fire. So they have fiery bodies. Therefore, they can enter the sun and live on the sun. So, we are basically, we cannot, when it's very hot during summer, it's very hot, what do we do? Right? We wear light clothes, and also we'll have the aircon on, like full blast, right? Or the fan. So in this way, we cannot even go close to the sun, let alone, we just have experiencing like high temperatures, right? And we cannot handle that. Imagine going close to the sun. That it's impossible for us to do so. So in this way, we have to have bodies suitable to enter the sun planet, and also bodies suitable to enter the moon planet, right? And how do you get these bodies that are suitable to enter the moon planet and the sun planet? By performing tapasya, by performing austerities, and by doing pious activities, right, in order to enter these planets. So one can enter these planets only by performing austerities and doing pious activities like this. And if you wish to go there, then you will be transferred to these planets. So this is what Bhagavad Gita is stating, right? But Krishna says, but those who worship me comes exclusively to me, to my planet. So what is the difference between Krishna's planet and the moon planet, the sun planet? What's the difference? The difference is that Krishna's planet is situated far above all these planets, because these planets, the sun and the moon, we can see with our eyes, we can see them. They are here in this material universe, right? But Krishna's abode we cannot see, right? So it's far beyond this material realm. So in this way, Krishna says that we go to his planet and we live eternally with him. No more births and deaths in this material world, but we live eternally with Krishna, engaging in his service, like the way we're doing now, engaging in the service of Radha and Krishna, Lord Jagannath, like this. So it's the same activities, but it's done in the spiritual world. Now that we are doing these activities, performing devotional service, it's training us how to worship Krishna when we go back home, back to Godhead, how to engage with Krishna. See, if one has to go to the hellish planets, so you go to Yamaraj's planet and you train, you say your next body is a body of a dog or a hog. So you'll be trained there on how to become a dog and how to become a hog, right? And how to bark, basically. Right? So you learn all these things. There's a training session for you, don't worry. On Yamaraj's planet, right? And how to become in your next body, how to act in your next body. So similarly, on this earth planet, we are now acting or being trained to act in the spiritual world, right? By performing devotional service. So I'm just giving you this was a crude example, but right? So just like this, we are being trained how to actually perform devotional service and be with Krishna in the spiritual world. So sometimes, our training may not be so good, right? We may just touch the surface like this. So we have to come back here, and then perfect our lives and go back to the spiritual world like this. So we have to take many, many births, in order to enter into the spiritual kingdom. It's not very easy to enter, but Krishna also said it is very easy, because if one thinks of me at the time of death, then we can easily go back to Godhead. So in this way, we should actually try and strive to, we shouldn't wait for devotees to carry us, That's what we do most of the time. That because we are in the association of devotees, we wait for the devotees to carry us forward. But we should also endeavor on our own how to better ourselves so that we can reach back home, back to Godhead, like this. So, so I was giving you the different names of the moon and how it's beneficial to all living entities like that. And also we get from the Surya Vamshi, or from the Surya dynasty, Lord Ramachandra appears, and and many, many Kshatriyas also come from the Surya dynasty. And we know that Lord Ramachandra displayed so many pastimes whilst he was here, right, in getting Mother Sita back when she was stolen from, or she was kidnapped by Ravana, like this. So yeah, we see like this. Oh, another point I was going to make about the Lord, about the moon. Basically, it nourishes all vegetation, right? And it nourishes everything, right? And in this way, we see that in this regard, I wanted to speak about Radharani and how Radharani, she was once playing with her different gopis. They were little and they were playing, and then they were making mud pies and mud sweets like this to offer to Krishna, right? Like little children do. We were small. We used to do that also, make play, and in this way we used to not offer to Krishna because we didn't know any better, but we should offer to each other basically. Right, we used to cook up a whole meal, right? And then we sit at the dinner table and offer like this. So in this way, Radharani was, playing, and she was making these nice, in her mind, she's making this nice gulab jamun, she's making sweet rice, she's making, these different articles, sweets to offer to Krishna. And who happens to come by but Durvasa Muni. So Durvasa Muni comes and he says, hey Lali, what you doing? What are you up to? And she says, I'm making these nice sweets to offer to Krishna. And he says, okay, have you finished offering? Can I taste some? And she says, yes, sit down. And, she welcomed him, seated him, and she offered him her mud sweets. And Durvasa Muni took a bite of this mud sweet. And he was awestruck, this is a mud sweet, but it tastes so nectarian, right? So basically, we won't say that the moon actually, was involved in this, but it was Radharani's bhakti that was actually so great that, whatever she made tasted like nectar. And then he even benedicted her that, whatever you taste, whatever you cook will taste like nectar, and nobody will suffer from disease just by eating whatever you cook like this. So in this way, Radharani is actually the supreme goddess, right? Even higher than Mother Lakshmi. And all Lakshmis or all Shaktis emanate from her like this. So, and this is Radharani's position. So we find that in the Brahma Samhita and in various other scriptures, the spiritual world is actually being discussed, and Lord Brahma actually recite various prayers praising the spiritual world, right? And we know of these prayers. We sing them every morning during greetings, right? And also we should learn other prayers as well about the spiritual world, like Chintamani prakara satma sukalpa vriksha laksha vritesa surabhira vipalayantam Lakshmi sahasra satasam brahma sevyamanam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Right? Chintamani, the land in the spiritual world is made out of touchstones, right? And wonderful jewels, Chintamani prakara satma sakalpa vriksha. Every tree there is a wish-fulfilling tree, right? And the trees, they don't get their source, their juice from the moon, but from Krishna himself, right? Lakshmi sahasra satasam brahma sevyamanam, that there's millions and trillions of Lakshmis that are serving Krishna. Right? And they say that every step is a dance, every word is a song, and every day there's a festival in the spiritual world. Right? So we should aspire to go hearing about these descriptions, right? We should, and the cows produce unlimited supply of milk, right? And with milk, you can make so many products, especially sweets like that. And Krishna loves all these sweet products, right? Sandesh, rasgulla, like this. So we should try to please the Lord, and also whilst we're living on this planet, and when we go back to the spiritual world, then it'll be easy because we know what Krishna eats, and we can even make it, right? Because we're practicing here how to make, right? How to cook all of these things, right? Ravindra Swarup, you know how to make sandesh? Huh? You must learn it, yeah. We have to learn it. So when you go back to the spiritual world, then we can make sandesh for the Lord, right? And rasgullas, like that. So, yeah. So by actually practicing here, then we can make perfect in this spiritual world, right? So we'll stop here, and if anyone has any contributions, you're most welcome to make them. About the spiritual world, about this, the purport of this chapter as well. We see that Prithu Maharaj, he gave different divisions of the world to his sons to actually rule, right? And here he had the first 5 sons, was Vichitsva, Dhumrakesha, Hariyaksha, Dravina, Vikha, right? So they were given different parts of the universe to rule, like that. So, yeah. So this purport mostly speaks about the Chandra Vamsa and the Surya Vamsa. So, whatever I could try to get from the scriptures, I explained, and the Surya Vamsa, Lord Krishna, Lord Ramachandra. There's a whole pastime, about Lord Ram appearing on this planet. But we won't go through all of that now, because all of us know the pastimes of Lord Ramachandra. And how he displayed so many activities, valiant activities, that in getting Mother Sita back, and also the glories of Lord Hanuman, like that. So there's so much to say about that, but we can, if you'd like to share any of these things, you're most welcome to do so. Yes, Ravindra.
I'm always wanted to find out what makes the moon to glow. What makes the moon to glow?
Moon to glow.
To glow, yeah. To glow. Yeah.
Moon glow.
Yeah.
What's the moon glow? So basically, the moon is described here in this purport as one of the stars, right? And the stars get the reflection from the sun. This is what Prabhupada is saying here. And this is how the moon glows, like this. But we see the sun, although it's of heat, made of heat, the reflection of the sunlight, goes onto the moon, and the moon emanates a cooling breeze, so cooling rays. So in this way, we cannot really understand how it works, but it's all by Krishna's arrangement, because Krishna is the producer of everything in this world, right? Everything comes from him. So in this way, it's because of the reflection of the sun on the moon. That's how it glows. And as we are saying, that when the scientists went there, they couldn't find. They said it was dark, right? The moon was dark. It wasn't full of light, because if it was so effulgent, the moon was so effulgent, then why couldn't they see anything, right? So that means they didn't go to the moon. They went to some other place. They didn't go to the moon because the moon is effulgent by nature. So they didn't go to the moon. So, this glowing of the moon it has like such a beautiful effect, on the living entities, as we were describing before, on vegetation, on fruits, vegetables, grains like this. So how come they didn't see any vegetation on the moon? And as it is being described, it's a garden of paradise, right? Jannat, it's a garden of paradise. How come they didn't see this? Then that means they didn't land on the moon. Or you could say, well, it was eclipse, that Rahu swallowed the moon. But that wasn't the case when they landed, right? So in this way, the moon is self-effulgent, like that. So, thank you for your question. Prabhu? Raghunath Bhatta Prabhu?
I just thought of making some points. You spoke about when the piety is exhausted, one comes down back to the material world. But not exactly all the piety is exhausted, because you find people are pious from birth, so it means that some piety was left. So it's not really all the piety. And then just like you find people very good, like the Beatles, musicians, in the heavenly planets. So when their piety got exhausted in the material planet, all of them, became famous, and then they split. So yes, so that's one point.
Yes, because Prabhupada makes a comment like that, right? He says that, I think it was George Harrison or someone, of the Beatles, basically they were Gandharvas in their previous life, so that's why they can sing so beautifully. Thank you, Prabhu.
So that's one point. The other one, he was talking about jackfruit and mangoes. I was just writing last night about jackfruit and mangoes.
Okay.
It's so interesting. But anyway, one of the things Prabhupada said about jackfruit was that it's a vegetable meat.
Okay.
Yeah, it's vegetable meat.
When it's green. When it's green.
Yeah. I like ripe jackfruits, but not cooked more. I like ripe. Yeah. It smells very nice. It's like they've got a very good fragrance. And that's all. Okay, thank you.
Okay, another thing that the moon actually on the moon planet is the Soma Ras. And the Soma Ras is actually a drink, right? And this drink it basically rejuvenates you, and it's so nectarian that it allows you to live for a very, very long time, right? And in Ayurveda, this, I think there is a plant here, Soma plant, where they make medicine out of that for unhealthy bodies, so that when you drink this juice or this medicine, you actually, it heals your body like this. So, so from the moon planet also, the Soma Ras, and therefore also they live for a very, very long time. This is what is being stated in the Bhagavatam, the Soma Ras. You want to say anything about that?
No, it's okay. That pastime you're mentioning about Radharani and Durvasa Muni, is any scripture, there's any source reference to it, or you just heard it?
I heard it from a senior devotee.
Yeah, I also heard it many times, but I didn't know, I wanted to know where it comes from.
Yeah, we should try to find the reference for that. Okay.
Thank you.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Go Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.